What's up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We are back in the world of Dungecraft, and you can see there's a few new things set up. Specifically, we got a ton of project tables set up, and I do need to give John, or Nethervoid, as you guys probably know him, a shout out because he kind of hooked me up here. You also notice I've kind of redone our power setup here. This is not final. This is just the duct tape jury rig setup that I've currently got. But we've added an extractor for rubber, we've got a compressor for advanced machines, and then we've got our little macerator. I do have a few overclockers in these things, but they're not really... There's a lot more power grid things. Like I need to get there... Here, let me show you. Right here in between the two mods where you see the little jagged red icon looking down between the top and the bottom, that shows you the internal power supply. Well, the problem is once you put enough of these overclockers in, that instantly drains. And let me give you an example of that real quick. And pop that out, and then we'll pop this in. Now watch that power just disappear here in a second. You'll notice it's, well, of course it's going to be an asshole and not drain now. It will drain, damn it. I think. Well, maybe it won't drain, but usually, once you've got a certain number of overclockers in here, usually the number's around 7, but apparently I'm doing pretty well on an extractor today, the internal power supply there will drain, and once that drains out, you basically hard cap at whatever it is you're doing. So the problem with that, obviously, is when you run out of juice readily available in the machine itself, then the machine stops doing whatever it is you want it to do. And so the speed is basically capped at that point, which is kind of a disappointment. So, and it's funny because I was having massive problems with this earlier today. It must have been with the compressor or the macerator that I was using. I forget which it was. I think it was the macerator now that I think about it. Let's, you know, it's going to bug me if I can't reproduce this, so I'm going to try and reproduce this real quick. Whoa! No, don't macerate those. Where is some coal? There we go, there's some coal, right? No, it's charcoal. Damn it, Bobby. Alright, we're going to pull some of this out here. Now, coal right here is one of the materials you need for coal dust right here, which is one of the setups for the solar panels that we've been using. And of course, now that I'm on camera, it's going to run just fine. I fucking hate you. Anyways, I've used project tables to kind of skip ahead, and we now have a medium solar panel. I've also got an MFSU out here. Now you're going to notice that MFSU is kind of low on juice. The reason it's low on juice has nothing to do with this setup over here, although in all honesty that probably isn't helping. Well, I guess I'll leave it in and we'll just take that out because I don't need any more coal dust at the moment. Now, to let you guys know, and I'm going to show you guys a little bit of an example here of this in a minute, but I've been using project tables. Where's my, yeah. As you can see, I've got my electronic circuits, my RE batteries, my solar panels, and this is where I've been building most of my solar panel setups. You see I've got the LV transformer and the low voltage solar arrays. And then over here I've got the advanced circuit, which is what you need to jump up to the next stage. So I've used those, and basically I made 50 in one, or 48 in one sitting to construct the MV solar array. So I'll be doing that a few more times over the next couple days until I get HV, and then I ought to be fine. Now, this down here used to be my quarry. A few of you guys will recognize this, maybe. I think I did show this on the teaser yesterday. This right here I filled in with a filler. Now, fillers are kind of interesting. As you can see, I've got a ton of bricks in here because I think this is 4,096 bricks to fill in, which is quite a bit. But I used this to instantaneously, almost, as long as you've got enough juice, this thing will level in depending on the recipe that you've got up here. You can see right here, this is set up that way. If I take that out, it differentiates. And you can kind of play around with this. And you'll notice that just filled in that block right there. Those things were blocked because of when my quarry stopped working, the little rings that are running around were still there. So, but anyways, you can use this to quickly build in basically floors for you. So eventually I'm going to go down another 4 or 5 levels and reset up another floor. And this is basically going to be my factory. And I'll start making this a little bit more pretty by fixing the walls and fixing the roof. You can see I've already got some lights up. That was kind of required because I was getting a lot of monsters to spawn down here. And even with all of these lights, apparently in these little dark areas right here, it's still possible for monsters to spawn because I've been killed mercilessly down here a few times since, which is kind of freaking annoying. As you can see, I'm down to 2 levels. Right here, these are my recyclers. Recyclers basically, and here I'll show you what they do. I've got all these crystal chests over here, which I've used to basically house my quarry since I didn't have any real sorting system yet, which is what we're going to be working on this week. So basically you put cobble or anything, well, not, there are a few restrictions, but just about anything in here. And with this, you get scrap. Now, scrap it's got a few uses, I believe, but the main use is right over here, the mass fabricator. So you can see with this, you can see how slow this is kind of running up. Well, when you put scrap in here, it amplifies the process. You can see that is moving significantly faster. So basically the goal is to get enough of these recyclers going, and we're going to feed all of our dirt and cobblestone from all of our quarries into these, and then we're going to feed the scrap from those into this, and then we will eventually get UU matter. Now, a few of you may be asking, well, what do you need UU matter for? Well, as you can see, UU matter, well, actually, that's not just the only option. There's quite a few other setups that you can do. Basically, UU matter you can make anything with. When you, and I don't know why I can't get it to pop up correctly for whatever reason. Yeah, this is the only, I think it's because the UU matter recipes are technically secret. So, but you can use this to make quantum, you can use it to make diamonds, you can use it to make coal, you can use it to make almost any resource in the game. The problem is it's freaking expensive. It's 1,000,000 EU basically without an amplifier to utilize one piece of UU matter. And so you can kind of see, you know, the recyclers take matter to basically make scrap, and they're taking energy, and then you've got to feed that into the mass fabricator to keep the amplifier going so it's not, you know, terribly inefficient, and it just starts adding up. So it's a lot of juice. So we're going to be needing to add lots more power, but the main holdup, the main holdup here is simply that I don't have any way to automate the, you know, movement of cobblestone from here. And you can see my little zombie friend has spawned over there somehow in broad daylight. Dig. But you can see that we're just going to need a much better sorting system from our non-existent one. So what we're going to be utilizing, and again, I have to give another shout out to John. Damn it. Fucking hate you, Nethervoid. John utilizes something called managers. Now, a manager is a fairly complex Redpower setup. And what this does is basically you can use pneumatic pipes to either say only sort these things through here. You can put it on, like, let's say I could put it on this thing right here and basically say, I want to make sure that all of these recipes right here, the materials are here always. And so if I were to use some of these iron ingots, the manager would say, hey, we need these ingots over here, and the manager would send it down the pipe, and then this would magically refill. Now, I haven't set this up yet because I wanted to show you guys the new system of crafting that I'm going to be using, which makes a lot of these. I mean, look at this thing. This is complicated. I mean, these individual components aren't so bad, but a regulator requires 2 buffers and it requires an item detector, you know, so you got to build this. And then once you're done with that, you know, you got to build this, and, you know, you got to build these, and it's just a pain in the ass. It's a lot of little micromanaging clicking. And, you know, like I said, it's not too terrible, but, you know, when you need like 30 of these things, you know, you're going to spend all of your time just clicking and clicking, clicking. You know, you're just going to be, I hate this game. So these project tables make things drastically easier. Now, you can make blank plans by simply getting indigo dye and paper. Now, I've got my little paper farm out front of the house that you guys have probably seen. I've actually fired that little monster back up so that we can keep some paper going. As you can see right over there, it is happily doing what it does. Now, indigo dye is a little bit harder to find than average dye because it requires a purple flower. And I'm going to go ahead and cheat minorly here just so I can show you guys. Oh, I'm going to try not to cheat. I am going to turn it day, though. These are kind of hard to find. They're, for whatever reason... Oh, well, they're kind of hard to find, and then I bust out here into a big ton of them. So these right here are the indigo flowers. You break them, pick it up, put it in here. Now you've got indigo dye, and then you just put paper in with the indigo dye and you're ready to rock and roll. Coincidentally, there are certain types of bees, so if you have a bunch of apiaries going with the right kind of bees, they will make those flowers spawn naturally, and then you can kind of harvest those, and it's kind of a nice little setup. So now we've got our paper here. We're going to put our 2 indigo dye there. We've got 2 more plans, and there we go. Now the way these work, let's say I wanted to make here. Let's say I wanted to, well, I'll show you how to make it real quick. We'll do, like, let's say I wanted to have a recipe for crafting tables. You put this in here, and then you click this button, and then that will make you a written plan. And then at that point, you just put the plan in here, and as long as you've got the components you need right here, you're good to go. So let me show you how those finalized products work. All right, so right here we've got a regulator. Regulators are the top-end machine that we need, and they need all of these things to make. Normally that would kind of be a pain in the ass to make, and you can see we've got our little regulator plan right here. So when we put that in, you can see we don't have the 2 buffers and we don't have the item detector. So we're going to put the item detector in here. You can see we've got all the materials we need there. We're going to pull him out, and we're going to take that out. Now we're going to find our buffer. We got our buffer right here. We're going to pull 2 buffers and pull that out. And now we put our regulator back in, and you can see that almost all of the stuff is now complete. We put the buffers in there, and then we'll just combine this and that, and there we go. So now making this regulator right here was drastically easier than it normally would have been. And it still sucks because you got to go through it the first time, but it's not so bad the second time. So right here, sorting machine is the other part we need. You can see we don't have the filter. We can put the filter plan in there. We don't have the piston. So we put a piston in here, pop that out, swap that for this. Now we've got that. We put the filter in there, swap that out, and bam, now we've got our sorting machine. So right there, we made a regulator and a sorting machine in about, what, 10 seconds? So then we just put these 2 things right here. We've already got our little manager in there, and bam, now we've got our manager. So now I already made one off camera. Obviously I had to so that I could make the plans. We've got 2 managers. Now, this is kind of the complicated spot because I need so many of these things. You know, I could automate my crafting here with them. I could automate my smelting with them. I could automate the nice little UU matter stuff down here in the bottom, which would make it so much easier on me. So eventually I'm going to need like 30 of these things. And thankfully, you know, since we've run, we've got, I think we've run 3 complete quarries down to the ground now. So we have plenty of resources. The cock block we're running into is I have so much stuff in just raw. Oh my God, these stupid things are still spawning in my, and I have absolutely no weapons to kill. They're going to fucking kill me. I hate you, spiders. I hate you. All right. This is how we're going to get rid of these real quick. Disconnect. Wait about 10 seconds. They should despawn. Then we're going to reconnect. God, I hope they despawn. Ha ha! Outsmarted the computer! That's what I'm talking about. Of course, now we've got some... And this is creepy. Over here, all of these guys, I don't understand why they do this. I had 25 some odd zombies down here last night, and all of them were in a giant circle, like worshiping the ceiling. It creeped me the hell out. I think it's because that's where my jail is, and they want to kill something up there, but it's still very fucking creepy. But anyways, the problem that I have is I've got all of these resources, like, you know, down here, that I would love to be able to utilize, but I can't utilize them because they're over here in raw format. So what we're going to basically do at this point is I'm going to break all of these cables, and we're going to make a few more managers, and I'm going to start wiring this stuff up to get going. For this video, I'm probably, though, just going to show you guys the basic setup. So let me go ahead and get this set up, and then I'll show you guys how it works. All right, so now that we've got our sorting system sorted, let me show you my rough estimation or understanding of how all this works. Now, first off, I've gotten a couple extra machines here. We've added each of these sorting machines to each of these chests. Now, the way these sorting machines work is they basically handle the inventories they're connected to. So this one's connected here, so it sorts this one, that one's connected to that one, etc., etc. Now, these do require power, very similar to some of the other things in Redpower. You can see we've got this hooked up. We actually created this power system. Let me go ahead and make it day so you guys can see. We had started this power system a while back. It was on top of our little house over there because we were going to use sorters, and we never got around to using it. So I simply relocated it over here. And I will be cleaning this up and making it look a little bit pretty. Now, I recommend before you start these up that you understand basically completely how it works, and you're going to want to set up one of these chests like I've got set up here. These are basically anything that's in the system that the machine doesn't understand what's going on with it or how to use it. You want to have this little monster here so that the machines can cycle through, and it helps you identify where the problems are. Now, the other issue is I had to make copies of all of my blueprints that I were using in here, because otherwise it just keeps trying to pass these blueprints around to the different chests. And it may actually set up to where I can't really keep these in the inventory, which is going to be kind of a bummer. But if that's the case, I'll just put them up on top here in little chests, which will still make it easier to go. So how does this work basically? Well, the way you've got these set up, and let me show you this. For instance, right here, this is my first one. You can see I've got all my recipes in here. That's to keep it from yanking them out. I've got the pressure plates, the iron bars, the redwood. All of this stuff is things that are required for me to produce off of this system. So for instance, let's say I take the iron bars out of here. You're going to see it's cycling, and all of a sudden the iron bars are going to keep going. And so if I were to keep using these, it would simply keep replacing them. Now you're going to notice it's not going to use more or pull more than I need. It's simply going to put the quantities that I have set up in here. Now, I can then simply dump these quantities over into here, and it will take care of it. Eventually, I'm probably going to add the completed products to the next stage. For instance, let's see, this right here, we're making regulators. So once I've made a regulator, if I were to put a regulator in here, it's not going to know what to do with it. And let me go ahead and show you how that works. So we want to make, let's see, we want to make regulators. So if we put a regulator there, you can see what we need. We need 2 buffers, and we need 2 of the others. So we're going to go ahead and pull our 2 buffers out. You can see I don't have enough of these now, so it's going to send me some. There we go. So I'm going to pull that out. So I've now got, whoops. What the hell? That's weird. It won't let me. There we go. I guess I just have to shift right click. Okay, so now that I've got those set up, I've got my buffers. Now I need a, where is it? I need an item detector, which we can put in there. We'll go ahead and cycle that out. I think it ate my buffer. What is going on? Item detector, buffer. Why you being mean to me? All right, let's look. Well, actually, let me put this here. Don't need those. Where's our buffer recipe? Right here. There we go. Now I got my 2 buffers. Okay. So now we've got our 2 buffers. We've got our item detector. Now, this is where things get kind of hinky. If I put these things in here, it's going to freak out, because I don't have these things set up in my system yet. So it's not going to know what to do with them. So I'm going to go ahead and place these right here. And this will keep the machine... Oh, whoops. This will keep the machine from freaking out when I put those in. So now the machine knows what to do with those 2 items should it see them. It knows, well, we're supposed to give them to here. Now, over here, you've got this little circle. All this means is I want to keep these here, but I don't care how many of them I have. And you'll see right here, we've got quite a few of the different different parts, and this means I don't care. Now, this over here means I only want this specific amount. So if I were to put, let's say, right now we've got 6 iron. If I put more iron in there, it should take it out. So if we put some extra iron in here, you can see it's taking the iron out and it's bringing it back over here to our main storage chest. So this allows you to quickly and easily set things up. The nice thing about it is, let's say you have a crafting table over here next to a manager and you want to build a specific thing and you just ran out of iron, you can put a few extra pieces of iron in there and it will make those setups for you, so you don't have to worry about it. All right, so let's go ahead and set up. We need 2 more buffers. For whatever reason, it's not giving us our iron. Are we out of iron? Well, that is odd. I think this is jammed for some reason. You'll notice it's got red lights on over here. And I'm still figuring out this system. I am definitely not a guru, so to speak. One other thing I did want to show you guys is a priority system. You can see right here, this is the priority. The higher the priority, the more it's going to try and set it up for you. So let's say this is priority 2 and this is priority 0. Then this machine's going to get it before this machine does. Now, we've got this machine set at priority 0, which is kind of where we want it. I'm going to go ahead and jack it up to 1, and then we're going to set you up to 2, and then you up to 3, and then you up to 4. And that should keep everything cycling fairly well. And that may have been what was our problem. Yeah, there we go. So now we've got that back in. So let's go ahead and put our buffers. We need 2 buffers. There's 1. It's sending us more components. And here come the bars. Okay, there's our... Man, it really doesn't like doing that for me, does it? There we go. Now I've got our second... Why is it doing that? There we go. Now we've got our second buffer. I think it has something to do with the inventories. Anyways, so we've got our buffers. So we can actually leave these in here now, and they won't yank them out. So then we need our... Where is it? We need our... item detector, which we can put right there. So we're actually missing our, where are they? The pressure plates. So pressure plates right here. So we can pull one of our pressure plates out. You can see it's adding more wood for us. And item detector. We've got our item detector now, which I can now put in here without it yanking away from me. And so now we've got our item detector and we've got our buffer. So what we're going to do here now is we're going to take this and put our regulator in, and our regulator is going to be complete. Now, as soon as I click this in, it's going to take it away. Or it should. Yep, and it does. Now, the reason it's taking it away is because it doesn't know what to do with it. This is not an item that is currently in my system. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this regulator out of here, which pulls it out of the system, and we're going to go ahead and bring it over here to the second box, I think. Is that where we use it, or do we use it over here? Regulator. No, we use our regulator over here on this box. So we're going to go ahead and put our regulator here. Now you saw how the regulator worked last time. It put it in the, I don't know what the hell to do with it chest. So we're going to go ahead and make one more regulator so you guys can see how it functions. So we'll put our regulator in there. You can see what we need to get that. So let's do 2 more buffers. There's 1. I'm actually going to come back for that here in a second because it kind of bugs out on me. We're going to put our item detector in next. Where's our pressure plate? Yep. So we got our pressure plate. Whoa, that was 5 pressure plates. You'll notice it took the 4 out of there because we don't need them. I cycled them back through the system. All right, so there's our item detector. Pull that out, put it in here, take him back out, and where is our buffer? All right, now we have our 2 buffers. We've got our item detector. We're good to go. Let's make our regulator. So now we make our regulator. We put it in. Machine takes it out, but it doesn't put it in this chest now. Now it's going to bring it over here, and it's going to put it in our regulator chest. So you can use this to kind of automatically move stuff around. There is probably a nice system that you could set up fairly easy with auto crafters to where it would automatically cycle through and move all of this stuff for you, which kind of makes it very powerful. And the only drawback here is I now have to keep this chest filled with all of the stuff that I need for this stuff to function. So the other cool thing you can set up here is you can actually change the colors on these. So let's say I only want white machines to interact with white machines. So I can connect my entire base on one power grid, or one grid of managers, and then I can simply change the colors on the different systems that I want, and they will only interact with each other. So you can have your white systems, your black systems, your green systems, etc., etc. So as you can see, this is amazingly powerful, and I'm going to be using this to set up my sorting system later today. I got to make quite a few managers, as you guys can tell. I'm going to have to pull a bunch of my materials out of here, and then I'm going to have to start producing quite a few more. We've got our little alloy furnace here that's been working pretty hard for us, but it's going to be kicking into overdrive shortly. But I kind of wanted to show you guys how the system works. John showed me this or Nethervoid showed me this over the weekend, and I was like, oh my god, that's powerful. So I wanted to share this with you. Hopefully you find it interesting. And we'll get all this stuff sorted here in the next couple days, and we'll get it hooked up to all of our recyclers, get a couple more MV arrays, and maybe jump to high voltage here shortly. Oh, damn you, skeleton. Anyways, that pretty much wraps up today's episode. Hopefully you guys are liking this series. If you do, please click the like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.